Welcome back to the channel, and this is part 6 on our rebuild on this X5. And in this video we'll be tackling this dashboard. I'm completely in love with this car and how they spec'd it with this wooden trim. If you take a look inside, you can see just how smooth everything runs with this leather dash. And this is the biggest problem. As you can see, this kind of more or less exploded, and this is what we were scared of the entire time when we bought this car, because this looks like it would probably be the biggest job, because you have to take out the entire dashboard, center console and whatever. And this looks very complicated, but yeah, let's get started. And as you can see, we already have the new dashboard. If you have the part that you want to swap out, this gives you a lot of steps ahead, because this tells you where all the screws are and just gives you a rough idea of where and like how many screws you need to take out and what kind of steps you need to take. Just this alone is very helpful. You can always go back and forth and check and always see what screws you're missing and what kind of screws you do need to take out. This just makes the entire thing a little bit easier. And yeah, let's get started. So the first step is going to be the steering wheel, because this has to go anyways. This is just held in with one big bolt, so we're going to take this off. And then the next couple of steps are going to be the blinkers and all the other buttons that are behind this, which have to come off. Let's get started. And as you can see, this bolt is very thick, which is why we ended up taking the impact machine. And just to be sure, I'm going to make a quick line so when we throw the steering wheel back on, we know where it goes. So as you have just seen, we removed all the little trims around it, and now the next thing we have to take off is this little plastic, the little dial ring, whatever you want to call it. We have to take that off, and this is held in with these 4 little bolts, and then we can finally take it off. And as you've just seen, we finally got the little black dial out, and now we can move on to the screen. And the first thing we have to do is remove this little trim around it, plus this little top screen up here, and then we can finally remove the entire screen. And as you can see up here on the top left corner of the screen, this leather up here from the dashboard, like even the manufacturer doesn't make everything perfect. If you can't see it, I mean, it works, but it doesn't really look that good without the trim. So we just found out that we can't take the screen out because it's too tight up here, so we do have to connect everything back together, but just plug it back so we don't have to screw anything or clip anything back. So we have to plug this back in and then plug this one back in, because this is how you control the steering column, because we do have to put it down, so we have to put power on the car again, connect these back, and then connect this one and then put it down, so then we can finally take the screen out. So as you can see, we just now have it all at the bottom. So we did have to end up connecting both of these to it, and now we have it at the bottom and can probably now take the screen out. So still after moving this down, we can't really get the screen out. We don't really know why. So we're gonna take some components off from the side. For example, this like vent and the side piece, which just pops off. So we're gonna take that off and then maybe see if there's some other screws in there, but we'll see. So as you can see, now to take this little air vent off, this is just clipped in on this side. As you can see, it's already loose, and there's one little screw here. So this screen was very complicated to get out, so I think it just was this little trim that we had to take out to give it a little bit more space to get out. but at the end we did get it out. And some connectors are just a complete pain to get out, and some of them are just really easy to get out. This one's a little harder, but this one was really easy. It just unclipped itself and you can just pull it straight out. So now, as you just seen, we finally got the main screen out, and now we're gonna try to get this little screen out and this little trim. So we can already see one screw for the trim here, and we're gonna take that out already and then move on to the other side, unclip the little trim that sits on the edge. We're gonna pop that off, take the little vent off, and then there's probably a couple more screws and also a couple more to get the screen out, but we'll see when we get it off. So as you can see, this entire thing just pops out. It's just held in with 2 screws on this side and 1 on the top on that side. And then everything else is just clipped in. And now we only have a couple of connectors for all the electronics. But this was very, very simple to remove. And here you can see this is one of the screws, and then also again, like on that side, there's just 2 small screws holding this in. And like we thought, for this display, there's 1 screw up here and then 2 down here, and then we can also take this one out. So I'm not too sure what this means, but it says that the glove box has no aroma. So I don't know if you can order it with any type of aroma, with like chocolate or vanilla, but not too sure what this means. So we already got a lot done on the dash, and I think this is a good time for you to take a quick moment to like and subscribe, because this is what helps our channel grow. Let's keep going. And now we're gonna take out this radio unit, which actually has buttons and knobs and not just a lot of screens like the newer cars, which I completely love, and they should definitely keep that. And this is held in with some weird metal like springs on the top, and yeah, let's take this out. So the only thing we still have to take out on the dashboard are these little buttons for the lights and this little box, which you can use for whatever. And this is also just clipped in, and this is really easy to take out. And I'm gonna take this out now, and then we're gonna move on to the glove box. So we didn't get this actually on camera, because just for this little thing we needed 2 people, because they have these weird little springs and we barely have any room to go here to press them down. So we needed 2 people for that, but we finally got it out, and now I only have to disconnect it. And even this little connector is hard to get out. So as you can see from the glove box, since it retracts slowly, there is this little track down here, as you can see, which I'm moving right now. This you just have to unclip from the little holder which the glove box is connected to. This just slides up, and then we can probably take the glove box out now. So there was this hinge at the bottom which we had to unscrew, which you just saw with these 3 little screws, and then we can finally take it out. And then we have to take this inside of the glove box out, which has a couple of screws on the complete inside. So as you can see, we finally got the inner shell out for the glove box. This definitely was by far, besides from the screen, the hardest thing to get out, just because not only it had about 10 screws, I don't know what they thought where it's gonna go, but I guess it needed 10 screws, and it had 4 or 5 different wires running to it. One that was clipped onto this, then another one clipped onto this, then it had the light for the glove box, and then another wire connected to this, and then also another wire for the little mechanism which lets it go down slowly, another wire for that. I don't know why this was so complicated for just normal glove box, but I guess they needed to do that. So we finally got the glove box out, made a lot of progress on the entire dashboard, which I'm very happy about. And if you look at the entire car, almost everything is stripped out besides the seats, which for some people it doesn't look like we're making any progress. It looks like we're just working back and not making any progress, as I said. But for us, this is definitely a lot of progress. Even just like taking a couple things out is a lot of progress. We worked a lot today on the car already, on the dashboard specifically, and it's almost already 12. So we're gonna start tomorrow fresh in the morning again, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. It's the next day and we're back on the dashboard, and yesterday, as you've seen, we got almost everything stripped out except for the speaker and the head-up display, but I think the head-up display is not part of the dashboard. It's just the frame, which we have to take out and then check if there's any screws. And then also the same thing with the speaker, take this out, check for screws. And then there's only a couple screws on the bottom, which we already know. And then we still have to take out the center console, but I think we do have to only move it back a little bit to reach a couple of the screws, but we'll see when we get there. As you can see, we're now on the center console, and I just took this top piece off, which is kind of the control unit for the AC and stuff like that. And now I just removed those two bolts, and now we're gonna move on to the front. To the side, these pieces you can just clip off, and then there's a couple more screws, and then we can finally take the center console out. And as you can see, this piece is just clipped on, and then there's about 3 or 4 different bolts that hold the center console. This entire process may look easy, and the thing is, it really is, because even the manufacturers have interest into making it as easy as possible, because they want to produce cars as fast as possible. So it's kind of hard to move the entire center console because there's a few wires and connectors in the back and in between, which we're not really too sure where they are. So it's kind of getting stuck on that. But we also noticed that there's no screws under here holding the dashboard, and we also looked at the new one to look if there's any holes for the screws, but there's only 2 here, but there's no screws actually in there. So we're probably just going to try to get the dashboard out now, so loosen up all the screws that are still underneath, and then pop this out and then see if we can take it out. So as you just saw, we took all of the little screws out. There were some hidden in these little corners. And we also found out that we have to take this metal frame out because it is connected to it. So those are just 2 screws. And otherwise, it was some cables that we also had to run back so they're not in the way. But now you can see that's definitely loose, and we're gonna try to take it out now. And as you can see, it's a little dark right now, but we did end up finally getting it out, and wasn't too complicated, just a lot of hidden screws, and there's still 1 connector left, but I'm glad we finally got it out. So now I'm gonna get started by stripping everything out of the old one, such as the air vents, the old airbag, and also the metal frame which sits inside of it. And I'm gonna start with the airbag. So this is where we're gonna stop for today. We got a lot of work done, but besides that, the car definitely looks 10 times better. And if you wanna see more content like this, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on the post notification. Drive safe and stay tuned.